Hey, this is Notser, and we're taking a look at the Tier 8 Premium German destroyer, Z-39 or Z-39. It is a work in progress, so the stats are definitely not final. As far as my build is concerned, very safe German destroyer build. We've got main armament protection, accuracy, crit protection on propulsion, improved acceleration, concealment for my commander, and this is my Z-52 commander. Priority target, preventative maintenance, adrenaline rush, last stand, survivability expert, faster torpedo rearm, superintendent, and concealment. I feel really comfortable with this build. I dominate all the time. I mean, it works for me. So what is unique about the Z-39? It has one gun caliber, 150 millimeters. Now, the Tier 6 and the Tier 8 have the option to switch between 128 or 150 millimeters. And my playstyle dictates 128 only. That's the only viable option. I really don't like the rate of fire on the larger gun caliber. Plus the AP, you can't fire AP at any destroyer at all, period. It just overpens way too hard. So you're left with having to use HE, slow rate of fire, and when you do get a chance to use that German AP that everyone is familiar with, you have to use it against cruisers and battleships, and I don't really want to openly fire at cruisers and battleships. But you still have really awesome torpedoes. I love the graphic, it looks great. I was trying to send torpedoes at, the Yugamo, or the Kagero. I can't read the screen, it's one of those Japanese destroyers. He pops smoke. I also was able to nick the Cleveland, and it worked out. We took out a target that was in the vicinity. He was trying to capture A, but he moved back. And he sends torpedoes. Why not use hydroacoustic? Honestly, I didn't feel like he was going to even have a chance at hitting me. That's why I didn't pop smoke. Smoke is a massive tell for the enemy that there is something generally there. And if you play your cards right and understand the distance that you can exist before you're detected, you don't really need to pop smoke unless aircraft or some unforeseen event occurs. So we take out the destroyer, the Cleveland sitting in the smoke, we capture A point, and I do a little chip damage to the key. But why would I choose this over the Z-23? It's got a larger number on the hull. I don't really know why you would choose it, other than it's attractive. It has a ridge that runs along the hull of the ship, and I kind of like the look of that. It looks pretty cool. Look how close we get to this guy. He just slyly backs up right into a gap in my torpedoes. I'm gonna get you, Cleveland, and I'm gonna get your dog too. But as far as the guns are concerned, it's only 450 millimeter guns. It's not impressive at all. I really don't understand what's attractive about this ship other than it's a premium for the German destroyer line, which we still don't have an official one. I have a T-61 in my inventory. I can play that all I want. Unfortunately, you can't, and I just don't understand why it's not coming out. It's not completely broken. It's just a super solid example of the German destroyers. Now, this is the other side of the German destroyers, the 150 millimeter guns, and I think together they make a lot of sense. You allow a person to decide, do I want a higher tier 150 millimeter or do I want a lower tier 128? I think that's healthy. I just don't understand why the T-61 is not out right now. It is ready. So we move away from A point, the enemy is not going to move forward. The only DD that was in the area is dead. So I am lucky enough to run across another enemy DD, the Sims, and I'm going to fire my gun openly. I dare you to fire at me. I want you to fire at me. Come on, Key. I know you want to shoot at me. Just waiting for it to happen. trying to stop the capture, of course, too. We're not close enough to use our torpedoes. It's about, I think, 8.5 kilometers, which, you know, that's mediocre. And obviously, since it's a large gun caliber, advanced firing training, basic firing training do not impact the rate of fire or the range of the gun. So what you see is what you're going to get from this package. Expert marksman absolutely doesn't help as well because it's classified as a large gun caliber. So there's just a lot of drawbacks to the caliber of the gun on a DD, which I just, quite frankly, they don't mesh well with my playstyle. I hunt down and I take out enemy destroyers, faster rate of fire, faster turret traverse. I can extend the range, I can extend the rate of fire with basic fire training. That's all really attractive. You just don't have that here. You're really supposed to focus on cruisers and battleships. You can do some damage to enemy destroyers, but as you can see, it's not something to write home about. And it's only 4 guns. At least with the mainline Z-23, you got 5 guns. That's pretty nice. But 1 less gun, same rate of fire. You know, it just, the only thing that's special about it is premium. So, you know, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not disappointed in the fact that I knew this was how it was going to play out for me, because I just don't like the large gun caliber. I've tried to make them work. I'm just disappointed that T-61 is not out, and it appears, based on what I'm hearing from Wargaming, this is going to be the first German premium destroyer, and I don't want to play this. I want to play the T-61. And I'm sure you do too. Now, players who have worked themselves all the way up to the tier 10, they've gotten used to the 128mm guns, the fast torpedo rearm, the hydroacoustic, of course, dominate the capture point, gives you the ability to see targets in smoke and protects you from torpedoes. All that's really awesome. But this one sort of feels like I just have to compromise on the gun systems, and I don't want to do that. So I noticed that the enemy dive bomber is definitely on approach, so I pop smoke with plenty of time to completely disappear and move out of the area that I thought he would drop. I'm surprised he went ahead with it, but I'm very pleased that it ultimately worked out in my favor. And we're going to just move on. You know, the German smoke is German smoke. There's nothing to write home about, and it gives up a lot. I have access to Superintendent, and there's a good reason I have access to Superintendent. We've got the enemy French, sort of super heavy destroyer. This is very dangerous. I really think he's got a better setup for anti-gun work, but I'm going to bet that I'm a better DD player, so I'm just going to roll the dice. And I'm getting help from teammates, of course, which is nice. I'm going to try and use some AP since he is a very large, he's like a destroyer leader. You know, light cruisers, Soviet thing. So I was just going to see, and, you know, I'm not really impressed. There's a lot of overpen. It really doesn't feel like it's ever viable to use the AP, you know. Same criticisms that exist on the mainline 150 gun caliber exists here. It's just, it's a useless gun caliber against DDs, and you really don't have the smoke to openly fire that often. So it just ends up being useless. But we're going to capture B point. Teammates were very helpful in assisting in the destruction of the enemy, and this game is going to be a win. There's really nothing else to this. It's a German hydroacoustic, still has the torpedoes. All of that works very well. Concealment feels great. I am, obviously, as I introduced, I have full concealment build. Hydra, you know, there's nothing else to really say. It's a 150mm premium German destroyer with a worse loadout than the mainline at tier 8. But it can train commanders and it can generate more credits. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more than that. We had a similar situation with the Prince Eugen, and we saw how that worked out, right? Yeah, it's not good. And honestly, if you really look at it, The Tirpitz and the Bismarck are very similar too. The only difference is one has hydroacoustic, the other has torpedoes, but secondary range is now the same. We've got access to, of course, all the German goodies, and I really want them to add something unique. Maybe fast turret troopers, maybe faster rate of fire than the 150s, but obviously the ability of the main line is you can swap between the two, and it has 5 guns versus 4. Just something to make it stand out. I appreciate the effort. It looks great, but the gameplay is very familiar to other German ships in the line. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.